members of the media. I know you have all been working very hard. You are tired. I am tired. But if there is anything I can make your job and your responsibility a little bit easier, I have tried and I will try, and we have one more day to go. It is a privilege and a pleasure to work with you all. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Yesterday was a full day of engagement among the major dialogue partners, beginning with Japan, and then Korea, and then the +3, and then India, and then China, and then the US. And I can assure you that the atmosphere of the discussions of the dialogue was very, very good, very warm, and very constructive. All leaders pledged to work towards a more prosperous, stable, and secure ASEAN and East Asia. They have noted the positive developments and evolution in the region on many, many issues. They have acknowledged the resiliency of the region, ASEAN and East Asia wide, that in the midst of the global slowdown, we have been able to hold ourselves, and in fact have been responding to the expectation that this is an engine of growth, a locomotive that would pull the rest of the global community, global market, away from further deterioration. So it's a dose of confidence that we have received, that we appreciate, and we very much look forward to work with all of them into the future. Each and every one of them pledge more support, more projects, and more cooperation, knowing that, realizing that a strong and prosperous ASEAN and East Asia would be in their own interest. And they certainly look forward for a long, long cooperation into the future. I would like to reassure you one more time that most of the issues have been focusing on economic cooperation, on opening up more markets, on deepening integration, on trying to forge a common front to face common challenges, whether it's economic slowdown, food security, natural disasters, pandemic diseases, energy, education, human resources development. All major dialogue partners have committed themselves to pursue with the ASEAN countries and with East Asia. They emphasize on the issue of connectivity, knowing that we are embarking upon our new regional cooperation architecture called RCEP, ASEAN Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, knowing that this can only be achieved with more connected ASEAN and East Asia. So all of them pledge support for our connectivity plan. They have set up their own task force, their own mechanism in each of the countries, and pledge to work with us how to help us build our infrastructure, how to help us streamline our rules, our regulations, so that our trades, our customs, our immigration, our institutional connectivity would move smoothly into the future. They also would like to support more human exchange with us, taking note of the fact that 100 million tourists coming from outside into the ASEAN landscape last year. They think this is an area of dynamism of growth that they should be helping and pushing along, because it's a quick way to earn foreign exchange. One last point. They appreciated the way we handle our own economic challenges. They acknowledge the fact that we have gone through our own crisis in the late 90s, and we have learned lessons. We have made some reforms. We have instituted better governance for our corporation. And they take note of the fact that, yes, we have been impacted by the global slowdown. Yes, we will have further impact if the Eurozone and the United States or North America are not recovering soon. But they too believe that we have enough of our own resources and our own creativity and our own initiatives to hold ourselves until the two major traditional markets would recover. All of them acknowledge one innovation in East Asia, and that is the Chiang Mai Multilateral Initiative. CIMI. Chiang Mai Multilateral Initiative, no, Chiang Mai Initiative Multilateralization, sorry. I'm tired too. CMIM, Chiang Mai Multilateral Initiative. That's beginning with agreeing to swap your currencies right after the crisis of 1997-1999. Malaysia and Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, Philippines, Brunei come to help each other if you have liquidity problem in the system, if your currency is under attack. They believe that when ASEAN and the +3 countries establish that fund, so that it would be the first line of defense for us in time of financial economic crisis, if it were to come again. They believe that that is a very, very important innovation, and they believe that other regions of the world should be looking into it and try to emulate. That fund has begun in the year 2000 in the city of Chiang Mai in northern Thailand, among the ministers of finance of 13 countries and deputy governors of central banks of all the 13 countries, beginning with $120 billion US, now $240 billion US. And they believe that this is a genuine demonstration of all the countries in East Asia to the world that we are now consolidating, we are now trying to be as creative as possible and trying to show to the world that we can help ourselves. So these are some of the issues. I know you have other issues you want to ask. I'll be happy to entertain your questions in about 10 minutes. Yeah? 10 minutes, please. South China Sea. Push up a little bit, please. Yeah. Louder.
I'm hearing from the association. Sir, we've been getting confusing signals from different officials and diplomats, and we're very confident that you can straighten out the facts for us. I have two quick questions for you. One, Cambodia is claiming that there's a consensus among ASEAN leaders not to internationalize the South China Sea issue and to limit it to the framework of the ASEAN-China framework. Can you categorically tell us
No, the issue, yes, yes.
The Philippines was objecting to that.
The issue is this. The issue is, in this particular process here, ASEAN Summit and its related summits, on the issue that I think the leaders think that they would want to manage this issue carefully. They would want to manage the issues in isolation of other initiatives that we are taking. Economic, the issue of integration, the issue of creating new architecture of cooperation. Now, that level of agreement that we shall pursue this within the framework without having it spill over into other areas of cooperation that we are pursuing, that one we agree. But that doesn't mean that ASEAN is excluding any member of ASEAN from pursuing its own individual particular interests in any other form. Of course, sovereign state can pursue, can protect, can promote its own interests. And that was made clear by another letter by Foreign Minister of Indonesia, that the two can work in tandem, that we are not going to allow the issue to cloud or to affect other pursuits that we are doing together here with our dialogue partners. But of course, any member state who would like to carry this issue in its own way, on its own way, to pursue its own interests, to promote, to protect its own interests, that particular or those states can have the right to do so. It is, as long as it is within the frame of international diplomacy, peaceful pursuits, and the rule of law, and based on the agreements, based on various protocols, based on various instruments that the international community has established that we belong to. Okay?
Was there a consensus or no consensus on that issue, on that point?
Well, I mean, I was trying to tell you that there was that consensus on that point, that we would not allow any particular issue to derail others. But there is no obstacle or no restriction for any member state to pursue its own interests in its own way. But here, we want to be concentrating on cooperation, on coordination, on integration, on architecture building. Thank you. Yes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
You mentioned Russia within the dialogue partners of ASEAN. Do you think it's not an important dialogue partner, or do you think that Russia is not giving itself enough importance?
Russia was invited into the EAS the same time as the US. Last year, Russia did not show up at the highest level, and this year, Russia again has opted out not to show up at the highest level. So I guess the focus and the intensity and the interaction have not been as intensive. We value the participation of Russia. Russia is a very important dialogue partner. Russia is a Pacific state, a Pacific nation, Pacific power. And the fact that ASEAN has invited Russia into the EAS forum demonstrates our goodwill and the value that we have placed on our big neighbor up there in the north. We appreciate the dialogue relationship, and we hope that in future years we will see more profile of Russia on the ASEAN forum, landscape, process, and stage. Thank you.
Last question.
You asked me yesterday already. Anybody else? I will continue not to answer. Okay.
Just to confirm the point earlier that Jim made. So was there consensus or was there no consensus between the Philippines?
I think it's a matter of interpretation. As far as I am concerned, there is a consensus that we would like to pursue the issue without having it affecting other constructive, other positive momentum that we are trying to create, that we have achieved here, so that we can look into the future, we can look into the horizon, that a lot of potential must be harvested for all of us. Now, if the interpretation is that would obstruct my right to pursue my interests into the future through other channels, that was not what it was meant. It meant that you have all the right, whatever member state. But here, we are trying to pursue it within that framework of cooperation, framework of coordination, and we will be very conscious of the fact that we have a larger agenda up in front of us. Okay? What else? Thank you very much. I have to go to the global dialogue.